and welcome to the End in Mind podcast. I'm your host, Caitlin, the owner of Meraki Media Management. The End in Mind is a place where we come to share stories, tips, and strategies of many entrepreneurs, creatives, business owners, and just some people that aren't willing to live the traditional lifestyle. We talk about how to live outside of the box today and how to incorporate what really is important in your life to keep that end goal always in mind. Again, if you would like to reach out to me in any type of way, you can find me on Instagram at Meraki_media_management, and I hope to hear from you all soon. Thanks so much and enjoy our show. Hey everybody, thanks so much for coming back to The End in Mind. I have my friend Denise here, the owner of Cosmic Opal's Holistic Home. We are sitting in her beautiful crystal mansion, I guess we could call it. With all of these wonderful crystals around us, I have the best energy. I can't wait to dive into this interview and for you to share a little bit more about how you got started. You know, tell us about why crystals are so important, because this is something I'm now dabbling in as well. And I found that it brings me a lot of calming energy, which I am so open to welcoming into my life at this time.
I first want to say thank you for having me here and being here in my crystal retreat. But it's nice that you mentioned that, because a lot of young people are starting to turn to crystals for healing purposes. And it's been around for so long, and it's a tool, a personal tool that everybody can use.
Yes.
And it's just amazing how now people aren't considered, weirdos because they're talking to crystals. But now a lot of people are reaching out and doing it.
Yes.
To help themselves.
Oh, I love that. That's so powerful. And it's so important to, I think we'll get into this a little bit later, like in person and even just being here with the crystals today. I've been here a few times now to pick out my own crystals, which I'll share with you all if you're interested. And it really is about the power of feeling the energy. Like when I picked up the crystal that I ended up bringing home, it was very timely for something that I was going through. And, it actually had a lot of meaning around CEOs and becoming an entrepreneur, which was so fitting and very interesting. But I'd love for you to share a little bit more about that personal connection, because I know that that's something that you're big on. And then we can back out to the social media and talk about how it kind of leads into that personal connection.
Okay. I love crystals. I'm very passionate about crystal healing, and I do love having people come, and I love watching what crystals they're drawn to. A lot of people will come and say, "What crystal do you have for this?" And I say, that's not the way it works. The crystals choose us. And it sounds kind of ridiculous if you think of it in like a literal term.
Yeah.
But it's so true. I've seen clients come over and they'll pick one up and they'll go, "What's this?" And I'll tell them. They'll put it down. They'll go to something else and they go back to it. And then that's the one that they end up adopting and going home with. And it's actually what they really needed.
Wow.
It works 100% of the time.
Wow, I love this powerful energy exchange, because I know that you believe the same thing I believe, and social media can also have that exchange of energy. But this crystal connection is almost next level, because it's grounded in the earth. It's literally built from where we were built. So I think this powerful connection that we have to this organic, compromised, or I guess element almost.
And if you think about like primitive cultures, they didn't have medications made in labs. Crystals are from the earth, like you said, but think about it. Our physical bodies need minerals and vitamins to survive, nutrients. Well, why not our brains as well? These elements that our body needs are in these crystals.
Wow.
So it attaches to our subconscious, our brain, and that's why everybody comes and they choose the right crystal, because it's your body knows when you're sick you need vitamin C, or you wonder why you're eating so many bananas because your body needs potassium. It's kind of the same thing. Your body, your mind knows what you need.
Wow.
Right?
This is like so powerful.
It is.
And it's so true.
I've had people say to me, you believe a rock can do that? Absolutely. And if you don't, find something else.
Exactly.
You don't have to, find something else. But for the majority of us, and I don't want to use the word fad. I just want to say they're becoming more popular now.
Yeah.
And many younger, your generation are finding it because we really do need to go within ourselves to heal.
Yeah.
Too many of us have looked outside of ourselves to others to find what we need, and really it's in ourselves.
Wow.
We can heal ourselves, and we just need the right tools. So be it, like we were saying, a crystal or a trinket or something, whatever we need. Crystals have that energy, and you can bond with them. Bond with them.
Yeah, I totally bonded with the few that I brought home with me, and even now they sit under my TV, and every time I see them or I wake up in the morning, they're right in front of my meditation area, and it does kind of set the tone. If I go and touch the crystal, or even if I just look at the crystal, it's a mindfulness check-in. Okay, now my awareness is geared towards my energy and focusing on this crystal or focusing on myself and that inner wisdom. It kind of gives that object a good reminder. Let's snap back into the present,
Yes, and having that visual, that's why they're nice in households, in decor, because you want that energy in a room, and the different shapes of the crystals are important in a big space, and size does matter in a room. I mean, here we are sitting amongst all of them, and you can feel it.
Oh yeah, you really can.
And that's having that visual to look at can help you because you want to be in the present. Remember, anxiety only comes from living in the past and thinking of the future. So if you are in the present, and like you said, you have that one, you can snap back and remind yourself.
Yes.
You don't even need to touch it. You feel the energy. Yeah,
it really is. And it's very I've been sharing with you all. If you have followed me on Instagram for a while, I'm on this mindfulness journey right now. And, combating things like depression and anxiety with this past year and what we've all seen with 2020. I mean, all these words are in the forefront of all of our minds, And I think it's so special that you've incorporated the crystals into the home. And it's all about the holistic sense, because it's not just one place, It's not like you have your crystal in your office and it transforms your life. Can you tell us a little bit more about the sizes of crystals and the locations of the home? Is there any tips that we can give our listeners to kind of...
Yes. I do have to say that I started off, part of my inspiration were my nephews, because they have some learning disabilities and they couldn't focus, and they became really interested. When they come over, they want to know about this one and that one, and I gave it to them. And during this last year of virtual learning, one of my nephews would put the crystal next to him, and I said, this is really important to teach younger children how to learn techniques and to learn how to manage and those strategies, how to deal with things. So if you want to do it for your physical body, wear jewelry and carry them with you. I know a lot of us carry them in our undergarments or in our boots or, as jewelry. But in the home is just as important as well, because that's where we spend our time relaxing and being ourselves, and that's really when you will heal. You're not going to heal when you're out on the go thinking about what you have to do next or where you have to stop, or if you're that child like my nephews, what test do I have to do? I can't keep up with this. While you're at home, you are the best you can be. And so placing these crystals in specific places around your house will help you with that. A lot of people hang out in the kitchen. And the kitchen is a place where a lot of people congregate. So, I like to tell people to keep a clear crystal in that room. And if the way it's shaped, the points where they come out. They're called generators.
Okay.
And wherever that point is placed, that energy will go that way.
Wow.
So I do like to go into a client's home, and even with COVID, I've had 2 clients so far through COVID where I've gone over and, just ask them some questions, what they need, what they want, what their goals are. And, I took over some crystals and I showed them, this is where the energy's going to work, the shape of it and this, that. And they both were so extremely pleased.
Yeah.
And sent me pictures. And then they placed the crystals with their decorating, like I do on my Instagram, like showing people how to use them in decorating. But it has changed their life.
Wow.
And that really makes me, as a crystal healer, so pleased and so happy, because I was just the tool to give them what they needed. Now, in their life, they know what they need. They know how to use it. I have done my job.
Wow, this is really such a powerful conversation, and I'm feeling the energy, like seriously, even as we're just sitting here, like, and I'm thinking about my own crystals and how I can do this when I go home, and where I want that energy to be harnessed, or does it need to be in a different part of my house, or maybe not in front of my meditation, or maybe I carry it around with me throughout my day, as a mindfulness reminder. But I love what you do with your clients, because you even send them a quiz, I believe, ahead of time to discuss the goals and, their endeavors, maybe that they want to invest in the crystal for, or maybe that they're just trying to define it in their life, and you may help them create this, okay, snap back into it. I'm going to touch my crystal every morning, a ritual that they come up with that's in alignment for them. But can you walk us through a little bit about that and how some of your clients have been able to grow with like their specific goals as well?
Yeah, I had this couple, the couple that I went over to their house. They had a room, the office, and the computer and the phone, and that's where all of our electronics are. So I said, do you spend most of your time in here? No, but when I'm doing the bills, I look out the window and I want, outside. So there are crystals that you can use to deter the EMF vibes from your electronics. And there are crystals that will help you to focus. So knowing that about my client, I was able to say, okay, you need this and you need this. And I'm going to just be completely candid. The husband wasn't really, the wife was like gung-ho, and he was kind of, but the great thing about it is that the husband was the one that benefited the most.
Wow!
Because he was like, like you said, seeing it there, help him focus. And fluorite, which is one that's used for concentration. I call it the stone of the learner, because it is the slab.
Beautiful. Yes.
It's a focused concentration, and they have it, and he has it placed by his computer with the sunlight coming in. So now he used to look out the window at the sun. Now he's looking at the crystal where the sun's coming in, and it's focused right by his computer. And that was like, I didn't say like, I told you so, but I was like, it works.
Yes.
It helped him concentrate, and he said, I don't stay in that room anymore. I don't concentrate on, I don't take so long doing my bills.
Wow.
I go in, I do them, and then I go out and enjoy the day, with my wife. And
that's amazing.
I went, that's it.
Yes.
That's what this is all about.
Oh my gosh, for sure. And the intention that he has now when he goes into that room, it's a great reminder. It's in the forefront of his mind. Like, I'm now bringing the sunlight into my room almost with me, so I don't feel as isolated. Like, there was so many levels to that story that we could even unpack like through a whole episode,
Right. The bottom line is, found a tool to help him in that situation, and he didn't even know it.
Wow.
Just telling me what was keeping him from, not wanting to spend that much time in that room worked.
Yeah.
If the intention was there or not, the intention was there.
Yeah.
Because deep down inside, he didn't want to spend that much time in front of the computer in that room.
Right, because it's boring, it's endless time that he's quote-unquote wasting.
Putting it off, to pay this bill, all the money going towards this, That's what he needed.
Wow.
So that's what's wonderful about being in person with people, to be able to, have those conversations and and letting them
decipher.
pick, choose the ones that they want to.
Yeah. And then I'm sure like when you have these quizzes and they give you their goals, it's like, well, these are the options. But of course, if there's anything else that calls your name, like you're open to that. But I love the intention behind it because it's almost a form of coaching. It's like mindset, they're speaking these problems out loud to you, and maybe they've never even voiced these problems, so they're finally like checking in with themselves, becoming more self-aware, which in return will create abundance down the line, as we know, and that's really what we're about here at The End in Mind. So it's so interesting to see how it's all really interconnected and
it's
how
growth.
much this can pull out of you. Really
growth.
Cool.
Self-growth, everything.
If you don't mind, this next couple questions was just about, you already dove into this a little bit about how you got into this crystal business and, how you got started with your nephews, which is so amazing. And I love how family plays a part in starting our businesses, because most of the time they have a big factor into becoming entrepreneurs and taking this avenue. Yes, negative and positive. We love all of them just the same. Right. A lot of overcoming boundaries and obstacles. But tell me a little bit more about that and, how you really dove into crystals and where it really kicked off for you.
Well, I always used them. My first career as a teacher, of course, I would, as a crystal lover my whole life, a crystal user, I always wore them, brought them in, and, as my students would tell me they're stressed about a quiz or a test or something, I would let them hold the crystal. Take it with you when you take your test. And I had them all over the room, and it was really nice seeing young children who were attracted to it. So that was really gratifying to know, hey, I think I did well on that test, and I think it's the stone. It's not the stone, it was you. It just gave you the confidence.
Wow.
Okay. So that was that. And then my nephews was an expansion. I always wanted to do it, but I never had the time and I never had the motivation. So when COVID came and I couldn't go back to work for health reasons, I'm fine, but underlying immune, whatever, I got the courage to do it when I adopted 2 rats.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's where the name comes in, because these 2 rats, somebody had found them under a porch and said, they're domestic rats. And I said, well, I'll take them. Now, a rat, guess what? They are the best pet. We can do another episode on that. They are awesome. But I also said, hey, if I can do this and take care of rats and they can give me love, I can have the courage to do anything.
Wow.
So that's where I came up with the name Cosmic Opal, because Opal is the name of one of my rats, who it's such a bizarre story, but it's actually what inspired me. I can do this. If I can take care of and clean this rat cage every day, I can take care of myself too and do what I want.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Wow.
So, and I did it.
And you're doing it. You're literally, we talked, at the very beginning of you getting into this business. And as I remember very clearly, it's very exhausting, overwhelming, scary, the unknown up ahead. But to see how far you've come, even in just the past couple months, I mean, it's amazing to watch your growth. And I love how it all came from your pets.
Yes.
And
your family.
Your family, of course, Bales Marie is 100% a part of the family too. They just are an extension of us. And our pets have such a great element to our brands as well, which I think is what aligns us very well together. You're a lot about nature and outside, and I am as well. Obviously, we've known each other for a very long time. So with your pets being a part of your brand, have you been able to seamlessly brand that on Instagram? We can get into the social side of things. Tell us about that.
Yes, that is my logo, actually. I actually drew my logo. I didn't want to create one. I wanted it to be something that was authentic and natural. So I have my little rat in it with my crystals, and that's my logo. And so when I got on Instagram, that was my logo. Nobody had seen my face yet, and I was a little nervous to put myself out there. And I just said, nah, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And I just gung-ho went and created the Instagram. I didn't know what I was doing. And fortunately, I had your help because, now I know what to do and how to work it. And, I got a voice message on there. That's pretty cool,
Yes, yeah.
So it is, the social media aspect of it, you can't do it without it.
Yeah.
I do need it because it is my platform where I am putting how-tos out there. This is how you use it in your decorating. This is how you can use it. I just posted a week ago about an air freshener. You can put your crystals in your air freshener, and then that energy with the oils goes into your house. And I had so many people, thanking me for that.
Yeah, that's such a unique tip.
It's reaching people who you wouldn't normally reach. So I do believe that Instagram has benefited me in this.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen it play out, and I've also seen you do some Instagram lives with some other people and incorporating different types of content. And as we know, that's really where it starts to pay off in the long run with the quote unquote algorithm, the most hated word of 2021. Right. But as we go through like creating these Instagram accounts and, getting into our content and incorporating all of these sometimes seamless but not seamless pieces to our brands, like your rats and even my dog, because they're a part of our daily lives, they're a part of our daily routine, and you obviously hold that authentic brand so close, and that's why I thought it would be so fitting for us to be on here together. And how can you explain to the audience how difficult that was getting to create content right out the gate and incorporating all of this somewhat of a whirlwind at once, because you did it very quickly. And a lot of people said that about me as well when I started my business. It seemed like it was overnight. You and I both know that it probably wasn't.
Yeah, it's not overnight. It's a lot of hard work. It's a full-time job. There's a lot that goes into it, like speaking into the camera and knowing what to say and not stumbling. Like I when I first started, I would make videos, and I'm a teacher. Yeah. I'm used to speaking. I don't stumble, but if I go back and look at my first videos, there's a lot of and okay, and people, we pick up on that, and then I got a little like focused on that, and I said, that's okay, whatever. But as you get more comfortable with it, you grow like anything else. Yeah. You learn from your mistakes. And at first, I remember having the conversation with you about, I don't have any followers. Now, it doesn't matter how many followers you have. I don't have to compete with somebody who has 50 million K because they probably paid for their followers who aren't even genuine. Yes. And they don't even see you on the algorithm. You see the same people on the algorithm, and that's what's important, making those connections and bonding with those people who trust you, like you, for who you are, no matter how many and okays that you say. Yes. And that's what's important. So I kind of weaned away from that and started just saying, so what is it I want to say on here? And I have to say, when I first started, I was a little nervous. My husband was actually my motivation because I had so many crystals around the house. He said, you need to start selling them. And I went, he's right. Wow. He's absolutely right. And, I sat with that for a bit. But as I got on, as I started making real connections with people on Instagram, they began to trust what I was saying. I wasn't doing the sale that had like 1 million people buying the same crystal. I proved to my customers that keep coming back, my pieces are handpicked. Yeah. I feel their energy. I know that they're going to go to whomever they're supposed to go to. So if you want it, you don't want it, I am not in competition with anybody. Yes. It's all about helping people to connect with a tool to heal. So as soon as I let that go and realized there are millions of people on Instagram selling crystals, but I can do it too. Yes. And I don't need 1 million people buying from me. I don't need to be making so much money now. Am I profiting yet? No. Right. Am I there, but it takes a lot to build up a brand.
Exactly.
Your inventory, your marketing. And the marketing actually on Instagram, it's free.
Yes.
And it's you.
Yeah.
And it's authentic. And if people don't like and you can go buy them from somebody else. Somebody else can help you, and maybe we're not the match that you need. And that's what I think people need to hear.
Wow.
Who are starting out.
Oh my gosh,
Right?
I could not have said it better myself. Like, you touched on all of the key pieces that really is the end in mind, because it's what's happening right now, this chaos right now of we could get caught up with not making enough to pay the bills, not making enough,
Right.
to get my new flip-flops for next summer, really small things. And they can tend to spiral. Like when we talk about things like anxiety and how grounding the crystals are, it's so funny because with what you've been able to do, I think it's helped you stay grounded in this experience.
And you don't have to start large.
Yeah.
You don't you don't have, when I first started, I didn't have much inventory.
Yeah.
And I started to learn what my customers wanted and what my customers needed. And through that survey that I put out and talking to them, I know what they need. And I actually do have clients who say, can you get me this? Can you get me that? And the reputation that I have built, the relationship that I've built with my suppliers, that's another relationship that you build through this. I trust them to give me the product I need that I believe in to give to people. So it makes me happy when somebody will say, oh my gosh, I've never met this person. They haven't touched the crystal, but through Instagram I've showed them and they go, oh my gosh, I felt the energy as soon as I opened it. Job's done.
Wow.
It's great because we say, yes, you want them to see them in person, but there's also that energy when you through that connection of Instagram. Like we can read when people are authentic. We can read that people, we like right away, or there's something about them that makes the hair on our back go up. And it's the same kind of process of buying anything online.
Yes.
And we all buy things online. And we've all been happy with our purchases. We've all been disappointed. But I'm going to tell you, in the confidence of starting this little business, none of my customers have been disappointed.
Yeah.
And I don't need a customer who's going to be disappointed so they can go someplace else.
Yes.
I want to give them the best.
Wow, yes. And that's so who you are. Like, you just literally explained who you are as yourself and Cosmic Opal Holistic Home, which I think is what's so beautiful about these personal brands, is that they are an extension of who we are.
Yes.
And it makes your personality come out, good, bad, and indifferent, and we learn a lot of things along the way, but you have found this stoic, calm sense to approaching business. And I, coming from a very different place when I first started and now moving more towards that, I know a lot of my listeners are in that position as well. Do I need the Instagram shopper? Do I need to be spending all of this time on my website and then also paying all of this money through Shopify? And what was great about you was you went head first. That's exactly how I was.
Right. Just dove right in. You don't know how cold that pool is. You just go head first right in. And, you start small. You're not going to get success overnight. And there have been many times, I'm not saying everything I've done has been success. I have done many things where I said, I wish I did this, or I made a mistake, or I didn't do this, or, now I know to do this.
Yeah.
It's a learning process. You just have to be honest with your customers, clients, let them know. I actually had a customer where she was buying something online, never met her. I was making the inventory, and instead of charging her $30, I charged her $3 because I forgot to put the zero in.
Shoot.
And I said to her, I made the mistake because as the business owner, I should have looked at my invoice before I put it out.
Right.
So I told her, I'm still sending it to you. Now, inside I was going, oh my gosh, I can't believe that was such an expensive and I lost money on it. But she trusted me. I was honest with her. I told her it was my mistake. She actually said, I thought there was something going on. And she's a repeat customer.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. And it's, not about making the money. I felt good that I was honest and that she trusts me and she trusts my product.
Yeah.
And she does DM me a lot and say, what kind of crystals should I put in my water? What kind of crystals will help with my stomach issues? Or what kind of, and so that's all part of the journey.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And to hear you feel fully confident and just being open, because I've had many same scenarios happen with us. We send the wrong invoice, we send the wrong management package. It happens all the time. And instead of operating in that scarcity mindset, it's right away like, if I handle this the correct way, they could come back and have full-blown abundance, and we could really create a great friendship down the line.
And we have.
Yeah.
She has become, she's the one, and you're always going to get haters on Instagram. I had somebody, make fun of the way I said something or whatever. And
Delco people have a funny accent.
Yes.
If you're from this area, you'll understand.
Right. And I've had people say that, your accent. I'm like, I have an accent? But, she was the one I actually turned to and DM'd her, and I said, somebody did this, and she gave me the advice. And so now she supports me in my business. I support her in what she does, and it's a nice relationship. And that's what it's about, building the relationships with people who are there for you. You don't need the people that are, making fun of the way you said something. We're not all going to be liked by everybody.
Yeah.
And that's really hard for us as humans who have feelings to get past.
Yes.
And as soon as you do, you're free.
You do.
To do what you want and how you want to. And I am confident when I work with a client through crystals or crystal healing, even like online. I did a crystal healing with somebody on Instagram. Like I showed them, it was a customer, and I was showing, they didn't know how to program a crystal when they got it. So I said, okay, let's do a 10-minute we did a little video, like a private in the DM section.
Oh,
and
cool.
I showed her how to program her crystal. And that's what it's about.
Wow. Yeah.
Building that, feeling good about what you're doing and believing in what you're doing and standing behind what you're doing. You won't fail if that's what you're doing it for.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you, there are a lot of people who are in the crystal selling business who aren't in it for that.
Yes.
And they're getting, there's another thing we can talk about, but they're not in it for the right reasons, and they're getting poor products and poor quality, and they're my competition. And if customers want to go there, that's okay. That's not what I'm about. They can make the money doing that. I'm going to be happy in what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's in anything that you want.
Yeah, like full integrity. And that really is who you are. Like you operate fully out of your values. You always have. And that's been something I've admired you for many years. Yeah. And like, I'm speaking so honestly, everyone, for all of our listeners, we've known each other for a long time, since I was very young. And we've now reconnected through these new journeys.
Instagram,
Yeah, like literally through Instagram again. It's so wonderful to see you finally finding this spot of little corner of life that's just for you, and it can be however big or small you want it to be, and just having full control over that is such a relief, and I hope gives you a relief as well with your, other profession. We know that that's very different. So in this space, having full creative aspects and just creative freedom, there's something else to that energy too, and how gravitating that is, to others.
And that's what we're about, sharing energies, sharing connections. We know when somebody is in a bad mood, don't we?
Yes.
We know when we shouldn't approach somebody, or we know we can approach the boss now because he's in a good mood. I mean, that's what it's about, the sharing of energy, and the crystals are the tool to do that.
Yes.
Personally, wherever you are, in your home, even at work. I've had some people say to me they want a piece for work. I had a client who, she was in between jobs, and she really wanted this job, and she wanted a crystal to take with her on her interview. And I told her what ones she could take, or I let her choose out of the ones, and she didn't get the job. And she said to me, because I contacted her, how did it go? She said, I didn't get it. And I said, well, maybe that wasn't what you were meant to do. Maybe that wasn't your dream job. Maybe the crystals are also helping guide you to where you're supposed to be. And then a few months later, I hear from her and she said, I got a job and I'm so happy. And now she wants some crystals that she can wear on her when she goes to the job. She said, I need some crystal jewelry or some things to carry on me, because she knew that the crystals were her tool to guide her. It wasn't me telling her that. It was the crystals that did that for her. And she said it was a piece of pyrite that she chose. Pyrite's it looks like fake gold. So she said that in her computer at her office, there sits her little, and she sent me a picture.
Aww.
And she wants some more in her work area. Think about it. We spend most of our time at work. So that was nice to hear that, she actually grew from that. She knew that job that she wanted so badly wasn't really where she was meant to be. And she got one that she appreciated more.
Wow. Yeah, it's this concept of things happening for you, not to you.
Yes.
And it's so beautiful that these crystals almost give it an opportunity, like with the pandemic, what we've seen with 2020, everybody's looking for the enemy, somebody to blame.
Mm-hmm.
And the crystals kind of give this outlet of blaming this negative story that she could have just been like, okay, well, this is happening to me, not for me, but I'm still really upset. But at least I have my crystal that I can just flourish this energy into, know? Because it really does absorb all of that energy. And I think as people are defining that, whatever that thing is in life that they need, it's almost this area where they can funnel all that energy to, good, bad, or indifferent, along the journey,
Right. And it's and she is actually the motivation why I want to, when COVID, I guess, comes to its end, or I wanted to do house parties. I guess it is Cosmic Opal's crystal party, where I go to their houses and they can have their friends come, and I'm going to teach them what crystals are, what they do, because even the youth today, we already discussed this, but they need ways to deal with it. I want to be able to teach them, show them what crystals they are. They can purchase what crystals they need there. And it's a way to help people deal with things in their own way. They don't have to go to somebody and talk about it, unless that's their choice, if they feel more comfortable with it.
Yeah,
but each of us, I have clients that sleep with their crystals.
Yeah,
I've had clients that name their crystals. They do become part of us. And all of these crystals that are my personal ones, I still love every one of them, because they have helped me along my journey. They have done something for me. They have given me the strength to go on, or, supported me in a time where I was grieving and crying and comforting, holding my crystal. And it's free.
Right.
Once you purchase it, that's not free, but it's something, these crystals I've had for so long, and I still go to them. It's my medicine cabinet. That's what I'm looking for.
Yes, that's perfect.
It's my medicine cabinet.
Yeah, because even when we're sitting here, it's I can tell that they all have different properties that can help you during a certain time. And it's almost like a badge or a patch that you can carry with you. Like a Girl Scout patch is popping into my head.
Yes.
But you collect them and it's like a badge of honor. They've helped me get through this, or they're currently helping me get through this. And it's a sense of, we're saying, this object, objectifying this situation so it doesn't seem so big and so heavy, and just almost putting it into this one object. I can do this, squeeze it, cry, sleep with it, whatever you need. It's almost like a teddy bear. In a way. And it's totally done that for me, too.
And it's been, crystals that have, go back to the start of time, people used crystals in crystal healing.
Right.
Cleopatra actually crushed crystals, the coal, to put on her eyes, and they put them in elixirs, and they used them for healing. And the Vikings used a crystal to navigate, on a day like today when the sun's not out, they would use a crystal, honey calcite, to find the sun in crystals. So
like a sundial.
Yes.
Cool.
They also used crystals, like strawberry quartz was in a culture where, they had like healing ceremonies. So it is an old custom that, a lot of us have used, maybe forgot about. And now it seems like the shift, since our world is changing 2020, and a lot of people are going back to, I keep using the word primitive, but I just want to say maybe
just like our roots, or like the evolution roots.
Yes. People are finding holistic medicine. Going back to plants. Crystals are part of the earth. Earth is, a church. People are starting to respect it more, and it's all part of the process. And
it's so beautiful
in the healing process. So if you think about it, we're only human.
Yeah.
And these minerals and vitamins are what we need, like we said.
Yes.
And they knew it back then.
And everything. And that's so special. Like the going back to our roots and really getting back to the environment, like these new trends that are coming out this year. And it's not even a fad. It's like trend isn't even the word. It's almost like a reawakening.
Yes.
Like it's like not going anywhere. Like these trends are fads. They're not going to disappear at all. They're going to stay.
It's full circle. It's like the English teacher in me. You always start the story off and then it comes back full circle to the beginning. Everything. Think about all of the things we've ever done. Think about fashion. Fashion, they're going to go back, oh, you're wearing things that I wore in the 70s or the 80s, or everything kind of goes full circle. So why wouldn't holistic healing and alternative healing? And a lot of people have been doing this their whole lives. Yeah. And a lot of people are now, like you used, awakened to this. And it's not a fad. It's not going away. Yeah. And it's wonderful that there are so many people who are now wanting to learn about it. And, and have it a part of their life. Right.
Because you also learn, and I know we're coming up, to time here, but you also learn so much about the earth and how things are harnessed from the earth and different types of avenues that people may take. And it's taught me a lot about how much I really want to make this an effort, to be more green, to be more sustainable, to be aware of what I'm using and the things I'm eating, or however many napkins I'm using that day, because they can be really mindless. Exactly. It's just a part of our life. But these crystals have brought it back for me too, and learning the process and learning of all of these different ways. I know we touched on some of the other people in this space, and that's really what I think is special and different about your brand. And to me, that's what the end in mind means for this episode, because really this planet's been alive many years before us. It'll be alive many years after us, God willing, universe willing, whoever the higher power is in your mind, that is the end. At some point, all of this comes to an end. So how can we keep it sustaining long after that? Is there any takeaways that we can go into sustainability that you feel like is comfortable to share on the podcast?
Yes, and it's a great way to end the podcast because, we always say we want, I'm a teacher and I want to teach, and I'm using that through the healing. And these crystals the crystals you're looking at right now are going to be around longer than us. Yeah. So they're heirlooms. You teach people. You show them the way. You help them to figure out how it's going to help you. And then when we're not here anymore, they'll still be here. And I'll hand these down to my nephews. And then they'll hand them down. And it's kind of like that old folklore where, the stories were told orally and nobody has them written down. And maybe this will become a big shift. Yeah. And people will learn how to handle their anxieties. They'll learn how to focus. They'll learn the techniques and the strategies that they were never taught.
Wow. I think that's a perfect place to end. That was beautiful. Beautifully said. Thank you so much, Denise, for coming on our podcast. And, this really is the end in mind. So I'm so thankful to have you a part of it. And I can't wait to have you back on soon.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you so much for listening to The End in Mind. I would like to remind you all, if you haven't yet reached out to me on Instagram, we are at Meraki_media_management. It will be in our show notes as well. If you would like to reach out to me, we always offer free coaching through Instagram based around our Instagram training and our business Instagram practices. If you need any type of support, please do not hesitate to reach out to me there. And we also offer several different types of consulting and training packages if you're looking for a little bit more in-depth tips. So thank you all for listening in, and of course, I want you all to keep the end in mind as you continue with your day and or work week. Have a great week, and I will see you all next time.
Hey everybody, I'm Chris Fafalius, and I'm the producer of Krista Makes a Podcast and the host of the One Hit Thunder podcast.
And I'm Matt Kelly, host of Horror Movie Night and the producer / the head of content for the Geekscape Podcasting Network.
Between the two of us, we have, believe it or not, 25 years of podcasting experience, and we want to help you start your own podcast.
We know podcasting, and we want to share that knowledge with you.
So whether you're new to podcasting or you want some feedback on your currently active podcast, we want to help.
Or perhaps you're just overwhelmed with all of the editing work. Well, we can help you with that also.
You can check out our website at weknowpodcasting.com for more information.
We're excited to help your podcasting dreams become a reality.